After work, I planned to grab a shared bike home, but unexpectedly, a phone suddenly reached out from behind me. The sound of the camera shutter made me realize immediately that I was being secretly filmed. I turned around and angrily shouted at the creepy man behind me, but he retorted dismissively, "Dressed like this, aren't you just a prostitute?" I was a bar hostess, and today's outfit was for the purpose of attracting the attention of the bar's heir. On my first day, the manager told me that customers on the first and second floors were ordinary office workers. The middle floors were small and medium-sized business owners, and the top floor only served the ultra-rich. The wealthiest client was the richest man in town, and I set him as my ultimate goal. Coincidentally, the richest man wanted some new faces to serve him that day. I knew this was my chance. But as soon as I pushed open the door to the top floor, before I could even see the richest man, the assistant handed each of us a red envelope, saying the richest man had an urgent matter to deal with and told us to leave for now. I was so happy getting a big red envelope on my first day of work, but as we left, the richest man came out of his room covered in blood. He told the assistant to find a route without cameras and change into the driver's clothes to leave. Just as I was standing beside the luxury car, counting the money in my red envelope, the car lights suddenly turned on. When I saw the car owner, I realized he might be the man in front of me, and with the exclusive parking space, I immediately deduced that this man was my target, the richest man, so I greeted him. The richest man looked at me in confusion and asked if I knew him, and that sentence confirmed he was indeed the richest man. But he didn't seem interested in talking to a vain woman like me, and tried to open the car door and leave, but I quickly stopped him. At that moment, I noticed something in his pocket. It was a driver's business card. Instantly, anger surged through me. I slapped him hard across the face. Seeing that he was still trying to act like the richest man, I mocked him, saying his clothes felt rough. So I took out my phone and asked him to add me on WeChat. The richest man was so amused by my actions, but since he was in a hurry, he reluctantly pulled out his phone and added me. The next day, I heard that the richest man was back at the bar, so I deliberately wore a new dress to work. Not long after I was taken to the top floor, the richest man stood at the door to greet me so as not to reveal his identity. Then he habitually typed in the password for the private room, which startled me. This was the CEO's exclusive room. The richest man quickly made up an excuse, saying he had seen the boss type the password once before and memorized it. When we entered the luxurious private room, I saw this fake rich man secretly drinking the richest man's wine. Worriedly, he said, "What if he finds out?" The man told me to relax. Seeing he didn't take it seriously, I sat down relieved, but I was so unworldly that I directly grabbed a glass of water from the sink and drank it. At that moment, the richest man noticed my mouth was bleeding and asked what had happened. I then told him about how my colleagues looked down on me and often bullied me. The richest man finally understood why I was going after him. It wasn't just for money, but because my life had been so hard. Just then, the assistant came in and called him boss. The richest man quickly gave the assistant a look, and the assistant immediately